Welcome Taurus Ascendant, Taurus Rising. This is your March 2020 video. I'm going to be talking about the Virgo full moon. I'm also going to discuss Neptune, and I'm going to talk about the sun because Neptune and the sun merge, and it's going to be all about heightened sensitivities, intuitiveness. It's going to be all about merging with another. We're going to find out where this happens in your life, what those individuals and what area of your life they're going to be coming from, how it's going to affect you, knowing in advance. Then you can strategically date and plan and move forward with knowing who to be around, what activities to get into, who not to be around, and what activities to not be involved with. All right, so let's dig deep and discover all astrology. Neptune is all about merging. Neptune is dissolving the 3D physical world. What happens when we merge with energy? Neptune is 5D, the material, physical, tangible world is 3D. When they come together, the 3D kind of loses out. The 5D takes over. Neptune's clouds of illusion and delusion and its ability to veil the light, because that's the sun. Neptune has no problem doing that. The sun represents our light, our vitality, our energy. So we're going to find out where this happens in your life, what area of your chart, and then I'm going to give you degrees and some dates to further understand the timing and the cycle. We got a cat coming, by the way. Hi, Zoe. I got to be able to read. Okay. One of the things I want to talk about, or one of the first dates I will give you, is March 6th. March 6th is when we have the sun and the Neptune hooking up. Depending upon your level of sensitivity, you may feel it coming sooner. This may affect your sleep. This may affect your awake hours, meaning you may be a little bit more daydreamy and less grounded. For Taurus Ascendant, Taurus Risings, there is a really good possibility, especially when it comes to when you are within groups. You are already very sensitive because you have Pisces in your 11th house. And this is happening at 18 degrees Pisces. So the sun and the planet Neptune are hooking up there. And when they do this, it literally brings about others' energies more easily merging with yours. So in other words, your intuitive abilities, your empathic abilities to feel what another is feeling, it just happens. Because the sun gets covered by Neptune. The sun represents your light, okay, your vitality. And when that gets covered up, it's as though you disappear. So what happens is, others' energies come in and they take the front seat, so to speak. You're kind of in the back, they're in the front. So you become very much in tune with those feelings and emotions of others. I apologize for my lighting. I'm not sure if this is how this is turning out, but there's some weird effect happening and I don't know what to attribute it to, and the cat's doing a bunch of weird stuff. So anyway, at this time, I have words great awareness written down. Great awareness of what others are feeling, okay? And more of a less clarity on what you're feeling. But this is going to change very fast. And it almost happens simultaneously, which is why this can be a confusing time. Recognizing that when the sun and Neptune merge, this can also give you greater sensitivities to alcohol and substances. So be aware, because if you were used to taking this amount during this time, your resistance to that's going to be a lot lower likely, and you obviously would just want to use less. But the dates that we begin to feel it is like 6th, 7th, and then like I have March 8th, where they're literally on top of each other. Now, normally when the energy begins to merge, it is the first emanations of it when they first start relating that is actually usually most disruptive, especially if you're sensitive. And if you've got Pisces in your 12th house, you're sensitive, right? So you've already got this heightened awareness of others' feelings and emotions, and recognize that in the 11th house, what's bigger than my friends? Because that's what the 11th house is. My groups, my friends, my social circles, it's the internet. But what's bigger than that? The 11th house is the humanitarian. So it's the house that represents humanity. Emotions of what humanity is feeling. And there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of fear, and I'm not saying that there's not good reason for those things. I'm just saying this is what is. You may have to be very careful and set up energetic boundaries for yourself. Protect yourself, okay? Now, opposing this Neptune Sun conjunction, because this is 18 degrees. When March 9th comes around, we have the full moon occur. And the full moon happens at 1937 Virgo. When the full moon is opposing Neptune, this becomes confusing because our emotions are elevated and our feelings are easier to get hurt because we have things that, it's like this. Somebody says something, likely from your friend groups, right? Likely from the opposing side. Or if you have something that's squaring this, right? So that means look for something in the mutable signs that is at 19 degrees because that will exactly square your full moon. Okay, the full moon for you, Taurus Ascendant, Taurus Rising, is happening in your 5th house. The 5th house is your creative projects. It's also the house of romance. So people who you are romantically involved with. 5th house is also our children. And these could be our creative projects, right? Because those are our children too. So whatever kind of working you do, I have a friend who's a good friend who's a baker. And those are those creative things, those creative, the things that she makes and bakes. Those are her babies, right? Right? We're passionate about what we create, whether it's our physical child extension of me or whether it's a child of something that, I made with my hands. It's the same thing. So somebody may critique something you've created, and there might be this, all of a sudden, this resurgence of an emotion that you either thought you got done and took care of, or that you weren't even aware of because it's a subconscious energy. So it's something that comes up. And you may be like, wow, this isn't me, this isn't mine, this is theirs, right? So right now, especially for Taurus Ascendant, Taurus Risings, there's other signs I had to give this kind of warning and this kind of like alert to, because there's a temptation because of the confusion of my emotions being elevated and feeling others' emotions. Okay, so it's like, is this mine or is this theirs? And if it's something you're not proud of and you don't want to acknowledge, you don't want to claim, it's easy to be like, no, that's you, right? So this is really a testing of our awareness and of our ability to hold ourselves accountable, okay? And all that means is don't blame someone else for the emotions. Don't blame someone else for what you're feeling, because you're going to be easily hurt right now. Your emotions will be, easily bruised. And so knowing this going into it will help you to be like, you know what? You're going to grow. It helps you to develop thick skin. That's what all these energies and what these experiences are all about. Now, what I have written down are words of discouragement, literally discouraging words. So you may feel discouraged, strange moods, because it's the moon opposing Pisces, opposing Neptune. Okay, strange moods. There's also this delay. I want you to delay a day before you respond to somebody, right? Somebody says something, it's a little off. You're like, did they just say that, right? And it triggers this thing in you and you might deny it. But then you notice later on it's coming back and it's kind of nagging at you and you want to say something or you want to text something, right? Or you want to write something or you want to say something. Wait till the full moon dissipates. Wait till that energy leaves. Wait till that energy moves, because the 10th to the 14th is still time of clarity. Okay? It's the darkest days before this moment of clarity, right? Which in the other videos I've labeled the clarity moment of, March 10th to the 14th, because we have this, like there's going to be a sunrise, and the darkest moments literally are before the sun rises. Okay, so you want to delay until then. If you need to set someone straight, you want to wait until you're not spurring off at the mouth from a hurt spot, from a deep emotional place, because then you can speak clear and objectively. You can be rational about what actually happened, about what was actually said, and not just so snap-offish. All right, so these are the days and the moments that lead up into the full moon, recognizing that the moon is opposing Neptune and that you're feeling what others are feeling, you're feeling your own stuff, and trying to decipher, is it mine or is it theirs? Is it mine or is it divine? Okay, because if you're highly intuitive, you could also be getting emanations from the spirit realm. You could also be getting information from source. And so it's really a time of troubleshooting, bottom line, and a time of balance, a time of recognition and holding yourself accountable for what you feel. Because sometimes we're embarrassed by what we feel. And this is a time of coming to terms with that. Coming to terms with what you feel and not trying to put it off on someone else or trying to hide it. So Taurus Ascendant, Taurus Rising, if you have any questions, just comment below. All right? And I'll help you out. So I hope this has put some light upon your path. Bye.